The match with Steamboat ruined his life because he's OCD, okay, and obsessive compulsive disorder about having a great match. That's actually a good thing if you're a wrestling fan. He cares so much about the fans that he wants to have the best match he can. And it always hurt his feelings that he couldn't have a match as good or better than the one he had with Ricky Steamboat. Well, I've got a good reason. 50% of the greatness of that match came from Ricky Steamboat. And, maybe he was just better than everybody else.
Takes two to tango.
It certainly does. And then he's relegated to being the announcer, and he's getting bored, and he's noticing that Shawn Michaels is emerging as not just a tag team wrestler, but the greatest talent in the business at the time. And I remember he calls me up at 2 a.m. because he knew I had a computer. And he says, "Can you find some breakaway champagne bottles?" So I said, "Yeah, I think I can do that." And I found a company that made breakaway champagne bottles that I can break it over your head and not hurt you. Because his plan was to drink to Shawn Michaels' career, pour him a glass. They would drink, they would toast, and then they would drink. And then Randy would smash the bottle over Shawn Michaels' head, starting a 2-year feud like the Hatfields and the McCoys, ending in WrestleMania, where Shawn Michaels loses his hair if he loses, and Randy retires to the announcing table if he loses. So it's the hair versus the career, and then they would have the greatest match ever in the history of wrestling, and Randy retires to the announcer's table. So what happens? Pat says, "Well, Randy, we're having a youth movement, and the best thing you can do is stay in the microphone." And that's when he went to the WCW. So that's my point.
That was a loss to fans at the time.
Well, you're a wrestling fan. Don't you feel gypped?
Absolutely gypped. I mean, instead, we got this feud with Bryan Adams' Crush. Now, not to knock it or Bryan Adams as a performer, but Shawn Michaels and Macho Man, that would have been money. Especially, I think I'm one of the few new generation era fans that are out there these days. But that alone would have definitely put something, in the fans' minds. Looking back on that era, it would have made it legitimate.
Remember how Bret Hart left in a Montreal Screwjob finish?
Right, 97 Survivor Series.
Yes. Well, Randy had planned to pass the baton, pass the torch to Shawn Michaels and lose right in the middle of the ring, as he did at WrestleMania 3, right in the middle of the ring. He was going to lose because he was not selfish. He wanted to do what was best for business, and they wouldn't let him.
Oh, yeah!